welcome to my channel, or welcome back. If you are new here, thank you so much for joining us. If you are returning, you already know it. You are fabulous. All right, so today's video, this is another Dollar General DIYs video. I have absolutely fallen in love with the Dollar General, guys. They have got so much nice stuff and so much stuff that you can totally do just like you want it. Make it your own. Let's jump into this. Okay, so for this first one, I've got a tray that I picked up at the Dollar General. Now, this was $8, which is a little pricey, but it was a gorgeous tray, and I knew exactly what I wanted to do with it. I also picked up these awesome florals that the Dollar General has got out right now. I don't know if it's just part of like their fall thing or what, but they have got some really nice florals out right now. Super, super nice. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is go through and just trim down all of my florals. I'm just trimming them down. Then we're going to take them and begin to place them in the tray. We're not using this as a tray, guys. We are definitely hanging this dude on the wall. It was just way too pretty to be a tray. So what I did was take zip ties and just place my florals and use the zip ties to hold them into place. That way I didn't have a lot of hot glue going on in case I want to change this out seasonally, or, you know, just maybe actually use this as a tray at some point. But for right now, I'm just taking my zip ties and adding in my florals. So stinking simple, guys. So simple. This was such an easy DIY. It is definitely beginner friendly. Anybody can do this, and I think it turned out so stinking pretty, guys. Okay, so for this next one, I have got this pocket. That's all it says, guys, just pocket. I got it at the Dollar General store for $3. I'm assuming it's like a wall pocket, like an organizer, maybe for your bathroom, dorm room, I don't know, something like that. I have some rub-on transfers from the Dollar Tree. I've also got some of the lavender looking greenery from the Dollar Tree, and then I've got some of that greenery that I picked up at the Dollar General store. Now, the first thing we're going to do is cut out this Happiness is Homemade transfer, rub-on transfer. And I wasn't sure if this would work or not. So I literally was just going off the seat of my pants thinking, let's just try this. We'll see. I have no idea if it's actually going to transfer, because this was kind of like a canvasy feeling fabric. So I thought it's kind of stiff. So that's a good thing. And then as I started to rub it on, I was obviously realizing that it was sticking very well. So I got super excited, but this totally worked, y'all. Look at that. Right onto fabric. How cool is that? Now, I took all of my florals, cut all of my stems down. Super simple. And then we are just going to take those stems and place those randomly throughout these pockets. I decided this would be super cute hanging on the wall. Now, you could always go back and use this, you know, to organize with. You could even use your Cricut and put little tags for each little slot, you know, if you wanted to actually use it as an organizer. But I just thought it was something cute that I could put some florals in and stick it on the wall. I thought, you know, why not? Anyways, so that's what I did. I literally just cut down all my stems and then just randomly placed them throughout the pockets on this little piece. But definitely what I was most impressed with was the fact that that rub-on transfer worked on fabric. That is just so stinking cool to me. I love it. So like I said, I just filled this dude up. We're going to use it as home decor. I think it turns out super, super stinking cool looking. It's just different. It's just something different, and I think it turns out super cute. Alrighty, DIY number 3. So for this one, I got this little cow stake. It's a garden stake. I got it for $1 at the Dollar General store. And then I also got this wood DIY palette from the Dollar General store for $3. First thing I did was just take that stake right off the back of our little cow. You literally wiggle it a little bit and it'll break and pop right off. Perfect. Now be careful with it because the cow itself is super thin, like the metal is really thin, so you can kind of warp it a little. I'm going to be using plaster chalk paint by Waverly and also this ceramic coat. Guys, I've been talking about this paint a lot here lately. I got this on clearance at Hobby Lobby, but it is some absolutely fantastic paint. Like, it's really, really good paint. So I'm going to be using that in black. I used the plaster to just simply dry brush that palette. I literally just dry brushed it, guys. That's it. I then took the black paint, and painted my little cow. I wanted him to be solid black. I put 2 coats on it. Y'all, that paint, I'm telling you, it is some good paint. And it dries matte, so it looks like chalk paint. I have some of these rub-on transfers from the Dollar Tree. We're just going to cut out that farmhouse and then the little space at the top. I'm going to place that transfer. Now, I got this on here, and I had some other letters, and I kept going back and forth. I was going to put moo, and then I was going to put eat, and then I thought about putting yum, and then I thought, no, I'll just do farmhouse. I don't know, y'all. This was one of those projects that I just kept going back and forth with. I could not figure out exactly how I wanted to do it. So, anyways, I did put the farmhouse rub-on transfer on. I then decide to put on my cow. Now, I did have to add some of the Tub Link Tower blocks from the Dollar Tree to the back of the cow, just because he was kind of hollow. So I added those and then used those to glue my cow down to my wood board. Now, this is where I was like, okay, it's cute, but it's just super, super plain. So I thought it needed something. So I got some more of these rub-on transfers. I love these things. Can y'all tell yet? Anyways, I got some more of the rub-on transfers. These are the ones that have all the greenery and the wreath and all that stuff in them. And I decided that I would put those up at the top. I'm just going to cover right over the top of the black ones. You'll never even know that the black one was there. Those black leaves. I'm just going to go right over the top of that, just to add in a little bit of greenery. I thought this would help, and actually it does, but we're going to add a little bit more to it than just this. So like I've said a million times, with these rub-on transfers, they are so easy to use. You just have to be able to hold them into place very securely, because if you move around the slightest little bit while you're rubbing, you will mess up the transfer. So you really have to hold it into place. Now, this is where I start playing around with the transfers, and I'm thinking, okay, if I go all the way around the cow with the transfers, I might actually be able to pull this off. I may actually be able to put something together here. So that's what I did. I just played with these transfers. Yes, my cow did not stick, so I don't know what happened there, but it worked out perfect because I needed him to move anyways so that I could put the transfers down. So that's exactly what I did. I just went through, added in all of these green leaves, rubbed them down, Used my little scraper tool from the Dollar Tree to rub them in. But I just thought that this added a little extra something to it. And it really, really made this pop. So these transfers, don't sleep on these at Dollar Tree, guys. They are so handy, and they can make something really, really look nice. Look at that. Look at that, y'all. Oh my gosh. They are so pretty. All right, so I just added a little more hot glue, added my cow back to the center of this dude, and that was it. That's all I did to this, and I think it is darling. Alrighty, for this next one, I have got 3 of these little shelf sitters that I got from the Dollar General. They were $1 a piece. And then I've got this gorgeous magnet that was $1 at the Dollar General. It says, grow through what you go through. Boy, do I need that in my life. Anyways, so I have got some dowel rods. They're just small ones that came from the Dollar Tree. And I had used them in a previous project, so they were already cut down. But I did have to cut them down more just to fit inside these shelf sitters. The shelf sitters had words cut into them, like where you see that love grows here. The word love is actually cut into the top of that. So there was no way for me to just paint over it or anything. I had to cover it with something. So I decided I would use these little dowels. And I just used some dog nail clippers to cut down the dowels. I just simply cut them down to the size that they would fit inside my little shelf sitters. I think it turns out so stinking cute. And had I had 4 of these shelf sitters, I probably would have scratched the magnet idea and just used these as coasters because I really thought they turned out super cute. So I'm going to take some wood glue and use that to adhere the dowels to the inside of my little shelf sitters. I just use a paintbrush to smear it in. I like to smooth it down some. I think it just works better like that. As far as wood glue, I don't know. It's just my personal preference, but I like to put it in there like that. And then I'm just going to add my dowels. Super, super simple. Now, the very last dowel, I actually had to cut in half. So if you saw me previously kind of whittling at them, yeah, I whittled down 3 of them so that I would have that last one to fit in. But this was so super simple. I did the same process for the other 2 shelf sitters. Super duper simple. See, I just kind of whittled at it, you know, whatever. Anyways, same thing for this last one. And now in the final pictures of this, I actually use 2 of these for little plant stands. But you could use them for candle holders. You could do just about anything you wanted to with these. I took that magnet, added hot glue to the back of it, and placed it in the center of one of the shelf sitters. Now I've got a little set. I just think this turned out so stinking cute, and that magnet, it just means something to me, guys. The saying on it just, it really, really means something to me. Let me know what y'all think about this DIY. All right, this is the last one and definitely my favorite. I got this tray at the Dollar General. Guys, I'm telling y'all, Dollar General is killing it with the craft supplies and the home decor. Anyways, I also have this wall sticker that I got from the Dollar Tree. I have got some Deco Art chalky finish. You know what? I think I just told y'all that this was the last DIY, but it is not. There is one more after this, so I do apologize. This is the 5th DIY, and there are actually 6 in this video, so excuse me. This is number 5, but I took that chalky finish, the Deco Art. Now, I used this paint to paint the inside of this tray, and it's just a white, like an off-white color. And it worked fine. That's the first time I've used the Deco Art. And like I said, for this project, it worked out perfect. The next project, not so much, but we'll get there. Now, I took that sticker, found the center of my tray, and placed my sticker down. It was super easy to like match up. I mean, it went together like butter. Super, super smooth. I just placed it together and then smoothed it out onto my tray. I smoothed the edges in because I knew I was going to go back with an X-Acto knife and cut those off. So I just used my finger and kind of went around the edge. And then, like I said, I took an X-Acto knife, box cutter, whatever, and cut off the edge that was sticking out. Super, super simple. This tray, you could leave this tray just like this. Now, I did decide to take some of the Aleene's Tacky Glue and water. I mix it up myself. It's what I use as Mod Podge. But I just used that to place around the edges of this sticker because it wasn't wanting to stick real well. Like the sticker was stuck in the middle, but around the sides, it was kind of coming up. So I just used that mixture to glue down the sides. And then I also went over the top of it with that mixture to just kind of be a protective layer, I guess you would say. I used the box cutter to cut the indentions that were already in the actual tray. I cut those in and then used my paintbrush to kind of push the sticker down in the indentions so that it looked like the sticker was supposed to be on this, if that makes sense. But that Aleene's Tacky Glue and water mixture, y'all, it's so cheap to make. First of all, it's way cheaper than Mod Podge, but I think it works better. Personally, I think it's stickier and it doesn't wrinkle your paper because as you'll see here in a minute, it didn't wrinkle this at all. And I put a lot on the top of this. It doesn't wrinkle it whatsoever. Now, I had one of those little like hexagon looking pieces from the Dollar Tree. No, maybe I got this at the Dollar General. I'm not sure. Anyways, I just used that as a stand. I wanted this to actually sit up on its own. And it probably would have, seeing as it was wide enough. But I just thought it would be cute to add like this last little touch. And I just simply glued it to that little hexagon piece. And I think it is so, so stinking pretty. Guys, for this one, I've got this sign that I picked up at the Dollar General. It had a cute saying on it, but obviously we're going to redo it. It was only $2. It had a green dot. And then I've got this welcome word that I got from the Dollar Tree that I was very impressed with because of its thickness. I'm going to be using that Deco Art chalky finish one more time. So I painted the inside of this sign with that deco art. I dried it with my heat gun. I gave it 2 really good coats, okay? I'm then going to use that ceramic coat again. Yes, I'm giving it a thumbs up, y'all. This is such good paint. I cannot believe I got it on clearance. That's what I couldn't understand. Why on earth they had it on clearance when it was literally like really, really good paint. But that's besides the point. I'm just glad I bought a bunch of it. Anyways, I have my sign ready. I've got my little welcome word ready. And then I'm going to take this little sticker that says, "This is us." And we're going to be placing that right underneath the word welcome. So I thought, okay, I'll take some of that greenery that we used from before and kind of place it going side to side. And then I can place my sticker in the center of that. So what I did was go ahead and lay out my welcome word, decide exactly where I wanted it, and then get the 2 transfers that I wanted of the greenery and go ahead and transfer those down to my sign. Now, this is what happened. The paint literally came right back up. I mean, it pulled right off. So I was like, okay, forget it. I'm just going to paint it again. The paint itself is very sticky. It's a real sticky paint. And I don't know if that's why, like it just stuck to that transfer so well that it pulled the paint back off. But I just said, never mind. We're going a totally different route. So I took some of these little bitty, tiny, tiny flowers that I got from the Dollar General, glued them together side by side. So I'm just going to take them and have some point in one direction and then glue some pointing the opposite direction. Just literally hot glued them together. I'm then going to take some twine from the Dollar Tree and wrap that directly around the middle of this little bunch of flowers. This is very, very simple. And this DIY is so customizable. You could do it any way you wanted with any kind of color palette, any way. I glued that down to my sign right where I had the rub-on transfers. And then I peeled the sticker part, the part that said "This is us." I just peeled that off, added a little hot glue to the back of it, and glued that to the center of my twine. So right in between my little set of flowers, I added some hot glue to the back of the welcome word and glued that right into place in the center of my sign. And guys, like I said, this DIY is so customizable, but it turned out really, really cute. Guys, before we go, I wanted to tell you all about my coffee shop. It is at coffee.com. If you want to check it out, please go to the description box. There's always a link for it where you can purchase most of the DIYs that you see done on this channel. Guys, it sold out in one day last time. So I will have lots of new stuff up very, very soon, but go check that out for sure. All right, guys, that is it for today. I hope that y'all have enjoyed this. I always have a blast doing these. I definitely love the Dollar General, and it is just such a great time to put this stuff together for y'all. I absolutely love it. If you did enjoy this, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share it with your friends and family and subscribe. That would be awesome. Plus, hit that notification bell so that you will know each time I upload a new video. Speaking of videos, go check out my last Dollar General DIYs video. It has got a lot of great stuff in it, so definitely check that out. Thank you all so much for being with me today, and y'all have a blessed day.